Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Vanda Electrics Dendrobium in multiplayer. Now this is a much requested video of a very new car, so I decided it would be best to do it as soon as possible. My rank is 1563, and my tuning is the typical 0505 and 5050. This is the tune that a lot of people want it at, so I think it is a very good tune to test it at in multiplayer. So for our first race, we have an extremely intense and close battle between me, another Vanda Electrics Dendrobium, as well as an Aston Martin Vulcan. So this Dendrobium is just slightly higher than me, whereas the Vulcan is at a rank of 1641, I believe, which is nearly 80 higher, and he goes quite a bit faster. The Vanda at this rank can go 287 miles per hour in real speed. So you see throughout this race that the Vulcan does catch up and pass me sometimes, but because I'm able to take the turns better and go toward the inside of the curves and not toward the outside like he does, I am able to stay just ahead of him throughout the entirety of the race. See there, he went wide, and that allowed me to stay ahead. Coming into this tunnel and around this bend, he again goes wide, thus allowing me to stay ahead. I've said this in previous videos, but I would like to say it again because it is so very important in multiplayer. You can beat faster cars so much of the time if you take the turn sharper and you take all the curves on the inside, as I have done throughout this race. And this allows me to beat this Vulcan, who is probably a good 15 miles per hour faster than me. And so I beat this 1641 Vulcan as well as a 1544 Vanda. It was possible to win the championship at a slightly lower tune than I did, but since most people tune to at least this rank or above, I figured it was the best idea to just tune to here. Plus I was able to get all trophies in the championship that way, so that was nice. In this race you will see that the strategy that I told you about in last race becomes increasingly difficult as your opponents become faster and faster than you. So in this race, I am up against a Homage, which is a faster car than the Vulcan I just ran up against, and therefore taking curves better and taking the turn sharper does not do quite as much for me, because the larger the speed difference gets between two cars, the more you have to do to pull away from them or stop them from catching up. And in this case, with the Homage, its speed is just too much greater, and even though I take these turns better than he does, as you can see here, he's just a lot faster, and thus he is able to pull ahead and come in ahead of me. But as we will see at the end of the race, I did beat two other Vandas, one of which was my tune, also triple boosted, but one was a slightly lower one without a tuning kit. It is a grave mistake nowadays to not run a tuning kit in multiplayer, especially in cars that have a high tuning kit boost. Tuning kit is the most important, followed by nitro starter, followed by extra tanks. Extra tanks are not too useful in most cases unless you have at least a nitro starter. And while this may seem obvious, I do come across quite a few people in multiplayer, mostly amateurs, but some higher league people as well, that just run an extra tank, and I have yet to figure out why. I think most of the time it would be because they are free racing and they have the extra tank left over from events or when they were doing ticket races. That's really the only thing I can think of. So in this race, we have another instance of a car that is just a whole lot faster than me that will not be possible to beat, no matter how many tricks you use, and no matter how many turns you take better. So I would now like to comment on the looks of this car. It looks quite cool and unique from the back, with the line for a light going up, across, and down, and also on the sides it looks pretty nice as well. However, on the front, it looks like a goat, or some kind of animal with floppy ears and a big mouth. That's just what it makes me think of. Some other people have called it the Panda, which is a play on the word Vanda, but I also think the front, if you have this car in white, may also look a bit like that animal. Let me know in the comments down below, guys, what does this car remind you of? From any angle, I guess, but mostly from the front. So we have come in second to this Camaro, but we have beat two other Dendrobiums. They are fairly common around this rank, and while they have above average speed for their rank, they're not too much of a threat to more overpowered cars, but only in some cases, as we will see on this 2-lap race on one of the Area 51 tracks. I have yet to figure out which names of the Area 51 tracks go with which variants of the track. So the other cars in this race are an R8 e-tron Special Edition, another Dendrobium, and a Camaro SS. Interestingly enough, the exact same one that I faced in the previous race. One of the Vandas just exploded, possibly by landing on his top, and we are ever so slightly catching up to this R8 e-tron up here. Again, not because of better speed, but because of taking the curves better. Now, this car behind is the Camaro, which as you can see is catching up extremely quickly. The Camaro at this rank can go a good 20 miles per hour faster than the Vanda, which is why, yes, they catch up quite quickly. But while going down below, he wrecked. I'm not exactly sure what on, but the Camaro doesn't have the greatest drifting, so that may have had something to do with it. So, on a 1-lap race, I would have come in second to this R8 e-tron and obviously beaten the Camaro because he is quite far back. However, as I said before, he's 20 miles per hour faster, and we start to see him creep up quite quickly throughout the second lap. And the R8 e-tron pulls away, because that car is faster than this one at this rank by less than 10 miles per hour, but they do have better acceleration, and it's usually enough to allow them to beat this car, unless they make a mistake, which this guy just did. But unfortunately for me, the R8 e-tron has extremely good acceleration, allowing him to stay ahead of me, and because he has faster speed, to continue to pull away. So at this point, I had pretty much given up on beating him unless he wrecked again, which I did not think was likely since I faced this guy a couple times and he was generally quite a good driver. However, I was getting quite scared about this Camaro back here. I knew that he was a lot faster, and I knew that I was running out of nitro. I did not know, and I really did not think I would be able to pull out the win here, especially when he flew over me and I hit the wall. But somehow, I managed to beat him, coming in second to the R8 e-tron, but beating that Camaro, the 1600 one, only by about half a second or less. So yes, that is definitely one of the more intense races of my career. Now we have a full race on Barcelona against a Homage, a Vulcan, an Aeronair Hacera GT, and a bunch of other cars. Yeah, this race was just crazy because of just all the different cars going every which way, some of which were a good bit faster, like the Aeronair Hacera GT, Vulcan, and Homage, but because this car's speed is at least decent for its rank, I managed to keep up with them fairly well. And this guy here kept having to wag around a lot. I saw this Aeronair Hacera GT a lot of times in my races. He was about 70 above me in rank, I believe, and at this point in the race, only he and that R8 e-tron Special Edition that I played in the last race were ahead of me. A Vulcan, Homage, and MP425, I believe, are the cars behind, as well as some not as fast cars. So I tried all the airspeed tricks and stuff I knew on Barcelona, and while the MP425 that is directly behind me never managed to catch up, I came in third to the R8 e-tron Special Edition and the Hacera GT. Let's see what their ranks were. 1558, 1635, 1652, 1595... Most were above me, although compared to some matchmaking that I've gotten, this is still pretty good. So in this race, we have another Camaro, as well as another Vanda. And it's the Mottled Lake guy again, but this time he is not driving the Aeronair Hacera GT, he's driving his Vanda. So the car ahead of me is the same MP425 that I beat in the last race, a 1652 MP425. 90 above me, approximately, and as you can see, he is not really getting all that far ahead. His speed is not crazy amount greater, and thus I'm able to keep up with him fairly well. When cars are going around 10 miles per hour faster than you, a lot of times you can keep up with them and beat them sometimes only by driving better. Now, of course, this works both ways. If there is somebody who's 10 miles per hour slower than you and takes the turns better and stuff, he may win. There, I should have knocked him down, I believe, but I've pretty much given up on trying to get knockdowns in multiplayer because oftentimes they just don't work, and I, more often than not, get knocked down when I should, by what I think are the basic physics of the game, get a knockdown myself. And speaking of physics, the Asphalt 9 physics are a whole lot like the Asphalt Extreme physics rather than Asphalt 8. which not a lot of people actually like. I'm interested to try it out and see if it feels better than Extreme, because Extreme felt rather clunky and imprecise compared to Asphalt 8. I think that's one reason so many people, including myself, enjoy Asphalt 8 so much better than a whole lot of other racing games. You can be so much more precise than in other ones such as Extreme, and probably Asphalt 9 if it stays as it is. This is evidenced by the fact that so many of the top times in the leaderboards are only apart by a frame or two, usually, in almost every single cup. At least the legitimate ones. I'm not talking about the hackers. But this just shows that people have learned how to so precisely do each track. And if you watch videos of two pros playing the same track, assuming it's a fairly simple one, they will do it almost exactly the same. They will almost look like copies. That's how you can realize that you are becoming a pro at Asphalt 8. If you watch a run of a pro playing it and it looks eerily similar to your own. Now for an interesting race on Cloud 9, in which we face a Vulcan that is almost 100 rank above. This is the problem I face when testing a lot of multiplayer cars. Normally when I'm playing in my Vulcan in ticket racing, I can risk points, and therefore I get better matchmaking, because it has been proven by multiple people, including myself and Dr. Hillusion, that risking points does improve matchmaking, like 95% of the races. Anyways, when I'm free racing, I cannot do that, and free racing just acts as if you had saved points in multiplayer. Now, the higher rating I get in multiplayer, the fewer cars I actually feel comfortable ticket racing in, which is why I do most of my videos free racing, just in case something goes terribly wrong or the car is just plain bad, and thus I don't lose a whole lot of points. And if something dumb like this happens, I should not have wrecked then. But anyways, yes, that is often why I get bad matchmaking in some of my videos. So even though I wrecked there, I am still pretty much neck and neck with this BMW M2 Special Edition, and I'm not exactly sure why he got slowed down so much, but I was able to pass him and knock him down. Now for an interesting fact, the M2 Special Edition is actually faster than this car, the Vanda, anywhere below rank 1600. I believe at a rank of 1598, which is this tune with 5 on exhaust, is when they become equal, and above 1600 the Vanda is faster, because at that point the M2 Special Edition is maxed out on its speed, and this car can go just 5 miles per hour faster, I believe. Because with a tune of 0505, 5555, and a rank of 1633, I will be going 295 miles per hour. So in this race we have come in second to the 1660 Vulcan, but we did beat a 1535 M2 Special Edition. That's really bad matchmaking right there, with the M2 Special Edition being 125 ranks below the Vulcan. That's what sometimes happens though to me in my Vulcan. I get paired with a bunch of people that are 100 below me when I'm risking. Now here, both of these people wreck at almost the exact same place. I don't know quite what happened, if they both used the first barrel roll and they both failed the trick, or if just one did and the other one wrecked on his carcass. Ha, get it? But anyways, that allowed me to get ahead, and since it is only a 1-lap race and my speed is good enough, I do not have to worry about them catching up, because if your opponents are not too much faster than you, if they make one mistake, a lot of the times you can win the race because of it. So I would say that the Vanda is definitely a worthwhile card to go for. It is decent in multiplayer, especially if you do not have any of the special edition cars. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 content, and I will see you later. Goodbye!